Good morning. Beshem Hashem Naseh v'Natzliach. So this week's shiur is not attached to any particular parasha. It really could be from Sefer Bereshit to the end of Tanakh and even past that until our days. The topic of the shiur is Nashim Tzidkaniyot, women who are righteous. So this shiur is has been dedicated to לעילוי נשמת יחזקאל ברוך בן אברהם הלוי, ראובן בן חנניה, רחל בת אסתריה, אסתר בת חנה, יעקב בן אסתר, סוליקה בת אסתר, לאה בת אסתר, דוד פריד בן ציון. And רפואה שלמה to אברהם בן חנה, זכריה דוב בן פרל שירה, מזל בת גולטש סולטנת, חיה אסתר בת נחמה, טובה בת ציפורה, אהרון שלום בן אסתר, בתוך כל חולי עמו ישראל. And for our singles, שיזכו לבנות בית נאמן בישראל, בקדושה ובטהרה. And for the הצלחה, ברכה and הצלחה, and פרנסה and שלום, and הצלחה in the חינוך of our children בדרך התורה. And also, I would like to add that our shul, Ahavat Shalom, under the guidance of Rabbi Hakakin, we should have a הצלחה and be successful in the court, as we have a court case, and Be'ezrat Hashem, they should be able to build a beautiful shul where we can all grow in Torah. And last but not least, thank you Hashem for all your chasadim. So I have taken this information from a few places, Rabbi Yitzchak Cohen and a few others. And so we're going to talk about women. We're going to talk about famous women in the Tanakh. What did they achieve? What level did they reach of spirituality? Can a woman reach a high level of spirituality? What is their reward? What is an Isha keshera? Who is an Isha keshera and who is a Isha tsadeket? These are two different things. So let's look at the term Isha, woman. So the term Isha was first recorded in the Torah when Adam woke up from his sleep and he saw a woman next to him. And he said, "She is my bone and my flesh. I will call her Isha." Why Isha? Because she was formed from Ish, from me, from the men. And the Midrash tells us, Midrash on Parashat Kitetse, tells us that there are 22 women kesherot. So who are they? Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, Yocheved, Moshe's mother, Miriam, Devorah, she was a judge, Eshet Manoach, the wife of Manoach, and she was the mother of Shimshon, Hannah, the mother of Shemuel, Abigail, who became one of the wives of David HaMelech, Eshet HaTeku'it, a woman from Tekoa. Some say that she was Serach bat Asher, the daughter of Asher, the Almana, who took care of Eliyahu Navi. She was not married to Eliyahu Navi. And Hashunamit, the woman who took care of Elisha Hanavi. And again, she was not married to him. Huldah, who was a prophetess, a Nevi'ah. Naomi, Yehoshava, then a woman, we don't know her name, but she was a wife of a Navi, Esther Hamalka, and the 5 daughters of Tzelofhad. That's the man who had cut down wood on Shabbat. Okay. Then in Sefer Eshet Chayil, it lists different names of different women who are Nashim Tzidkaniyot. So who are these women? These women are Hagar, surprising, right? The wife of Abraham, second wife of Abraham. Tamar, the wife of Yehuda. Serach bat Asher, the daughter of Asher. Yochevet, Miriam. Elisheva bat Aminadav. Elisheva, the daughter of Aminadav, who was the leader of the tribe of Yehuda. Batya bat Paro, the daughter of Paro, Batya, who later on married Kalev ben Yefuneh, who had become the leader of Shevet Yehuda. Tzipora, the wife of Moshe, the daughters of Tzlofchad, Rahav, this woman had hidden the spies that Yehoshua had sent before fighting in Yericho, which was the first city they were going to conquer. And Achsa, Eshet Otniel ben Kenaz, Achsa, the wife of Otniel ben Kenaz. Yael, the one who had killed Sisra. Sisra was a very, very powerful general. And just to say, when people heard his name, they would shake. That's how powerful he was. And she had killed him. Ruth, the Moaviah. Hannah, again, Hannah, the mother of Shemuel. Penina, the second wife of Elkanah. Elkanah was the husband of Hannah and Penina. And Michal bat Shaul, Michal, the daughter of Shaul. Avigail, bat Sheva, the mother of Shlomo, the wife of David HaMelech. Ritzpah bat Aya, also a wife of David HaMelech. Eshet Shimei, the wife of Shimei. Shimei was the one who had cursed David HaMelech. Ha'almana, again, the widow who had taken care of Eliyahu Navi. Eshet Ovadia, the wife of Ovadia the Navi. Hashunamit, again, the woman who had taken care of Elisha Hanavi. And Esther Hamalka. So the Gemara refers to these women as Gedolot, as great women. This is the Gemara in Masechet Megillah. Among them were the 7 Neviot: Sarah, Miriam, Devorah, Hannah, Abigail, Huldah, and Esther. These women were Neviot. They were prophetesses. We had 48 Nevi'im. But we also had more Nevi'ot, more women who had Nevu'ah, prophecy. So why is it that only these 7 are mentioned here? So the Maharshal answers, and he says these 7 Nevi'ot, those 7 women who had Nevu'ah, they had for themselves and for others, meaning Nevu'ah they had to spread, they had to tell to the nation. That was about the future. All other Nevi'ot, all other women who had prophecy, they had Nevu'ah, but that Nevu'ah was only for themselves. So that's why they're not counted. These women are what we call Gedolot, Tzidkaniot, Nevi'ot, Vizachu למדרגות והשגות גדולות. This is what it says. That these women were great women, they were righteous women, they had prophecy, and they had the merit of reaching very high level of spirituality. And because they were on such level of spirituality, they were able to achieve great things. Rabbeinu Harashbat says in his Sefer Magen Avot, he says, women would ask She'elat Chalom. She'elat Chalom means that when someone has a dream or needs an answer, and so the answer comes in a dream. And so there were women who were on such a level that they would ask an answer and they would get the answer from Hashem in a dream. And Rabbi Chaim Vital, who was the student of the Ari HaKadosh, he writes in his Sefer that in Tzefat there was a woman by the name of Rachel Aberlin, and this woman, this Rachel, she used to have visions, and she used to see demons and spirits and malachim and angels. And whenever people would come to her and ask her questions, and she would give them answers, or on her own, she said, this is what needs to be done, she was right in every single case. And she said, spirits and demons and angelic, etc. Right? This is what she said every time, that whenever there were cases that involved any of these demons or spirits or angels. There were some women who did not sin. Did not sin. Rabbi Moshe Isserles, the Rama, said about his wife when she died. So when he said his speech, he said she was the daughter of Rabbi Shlomo Shachna, a great rabbi, and he said about his wife, this is Rabbi Moshe Isserles, the Rama, and he said she never sinned. Wow, that's a very big statement, because we know that we have to be careful when we say something about a dead person. Has to be truth. If it's not true, then in Shamayim, when her neshama is being judged, it's going to say, oh, this is what I said about you. But we don't see in your actions or in your behavior this is really true. Then this person is punished for it. So if Rabbi Moshe Isserles said this about his wife, it means that she really did not sin. Rabbeinu HaMeiri writes, as an introduction to his Perush on Mishle, he said, there are many women who are good, and they are better than the good men. There are many good men, but the women are even better than the good men. The good women are better than the good men. And the men are left behind. It means the good women really move on far. There's such women that are great in every generation. In the Gemara Shabbat, Daf Samech Bet, it says, Nashim hem am bifnei atzman hen. In the Gemara Shabbat, it says that women are a league of their own. They are special. They're very different. They are not like men. There's nothing to compare between men and women. It's not only that a woman is different from a man physically, but even her qualities are different. So in Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer it says, Hashem took a bone, rather rib, from Adam, and he took some of the flesh of his heart. With that, he created Chava, a woman, Isha, to be a helper to him. That means because there is a little bit of the heart in us from Adam, that means that a woman, that makes a woman sensitive and full of emotions. A woman is capable of opening up a conversation, but why? Because she wants a connection, lev, heart. She wants to talk. She likes to talk. Why does she like to talk? Because our role is to talk to our babies, to sing to them, to talk to our husband, to talk to our children. That's what we do. So we need those kelim. We need those tools to do our job. Rabbeinu Bechaye says, "Vayikra ha'adam la'isha Chava." He explains, Adam called the woman Chava. Why Chava? And the answer is because Chava is medaberet, mesaperet. Chava, אני, there's a pasuk that uses the word with this root of Chava. I forgot to write it down, and and that is to speak, to tell. Adam understood that the woman speaks a lot since she was created from the heart. A woman needs to speak. A woman needs to socialize. A woman needs to connect. In Gemara Berachot, it says, Asara kabin of speech came down into the world. Hashem gave the power in measures, 10 measures of speech to the world. 9 of those 10 measures were given to the women, and 1 to the entire world. It means that the women get more than 9 because they were included in the entire world. Women need this quality of speech because women take care of children and they talk and they sing to their babies and they tell them stories. In Masechet Avodah Zarah, it says that women usually raise their voices when they talk. Why do women raise their voices? Not every time, but when. When a woman, it says in Masechet, in Masechet Avodah Zarah, it says, when a woman is going through a financial difficulty, and she sees there's no food in her house, opens the fridge, there's no food, cupboards, cabinets, there's no food, right? So by nature, a woman raises her voice because she knows she has to take care, she has to feed. So what's she going to do? So she raises her voice in anguish. It also says that a woman is curious by nature. That's how Hashem created us. Because we need that. We need to be curious. Because that's how we're going to, like, for example, you have a child, a teenager, and the teenager tells you, I'm going out. Oh, yeah? Where? That's why you're curious. You need to know where is your child going. You need to know what is your child going to do. Or when the child comes back, what did she do? What did he do? right? So in the Sefer Petach Eliyahu, it says that a woman is her mouth. What does this mean? Why? Because pe is the mouth, and pe is represents malchut, kingship. Why? Because of Torah shebe'al pe. Because the Torah was passed down be'al pe, from mouth to mouth. That's how it was passed down. That was a transmission, right? Because that's what, through the mouth, that's how the word of Hashem, the Torah, was revealed and taught in this world. And so women also, like, a woman likes to taste things because she's curious. She likes different food. We're talking about general, right? Generally speaking. So now we come to the question: are men and women equal? This is what feminism wants us to believe, that we are equal. No, we are not. Men are not above us. We are not above them. We're just different. We have different goals, different purpose, different characteristics, different qualities, and even physically, our bodies are different. And that does not mean, as in certain cultures, that a woman is less important than a man. Not at all. She cannot be treated with less respect or made feel that she is inferior to her partner. Chas v'shalom. In a relationship where a man is mean and a man just abuses his wife, Chachamim tell us he's facing Gehinnom. The same with the woman. When a woman is abusing her husband, it's the same thing. We are not allowed to abuse any human being. It doesn't matter if it's a child or a partner. A home is blessed through a woman. That means the husband has to work, husband has to bring the panasa, but the blessing in the house is because of the woman. So how? So if a husband keeps his wife happy, right? He doesn't make her miserable. He's not demanding. He's not just being difficult, right? So he will be blessed with shefa, with abundance in his home. The Rambam says, Isha keshera is a woman who does everything that her husband asks of her. And that's no easy matter. That's not an easy thing to do, right? A woman who gives kavod to her husband and will make him feel like he's the king at home. His home is his palace, and he's the king in his palace. Such a woman will be treated like a queen. She'll be the queen in her palace. A husband must be very careful not to cause his wife so much anguish that she's going to cry because of his behavior, because of his abuse, or because of something. He may not be abusive, but maybe he did something to her. So the Gemara brings us a story of a Tana. I forgot his name right now. This Tana did not live at home, but he would come home once a year on Erev Yom Kippur, and he was learning in a certain place, and he had to travel to reach home. It was far. It wasn't just nearby. And one year, his wife she knew it's Erev Yom Kippur, he's going to come today. So she prepared everything, and she's waiting, and she's waiting, and she's waiting. She goes outside. Where is my husband? She cannot see him coming. And then time passes. It's getting closer and closer to Yom Kippur. And he's not coming. Where is he? She started to cry from anguish. Just from, no, he's not coming. He's not going to be here. Her husband is not going to be here on Yom Kippur. Where was he? He had been learning, and he was so focused in his learning that he forgot. Time passed. By the time he realized, oh no, my gosh, it's Erev Yom Kippur. I have to make it home. It was too late. He didn't have enough time to get home. What happened to him? She had cried tears, hot tears of anguish. He died. So a man has to be very careful not to make his wife cry. And even if he does, a woman should try not to cry if it's possible, just so, chas v'shalom, nothing happens to the husband. But if we look back in our history, we see that whenever there was an important episode going on, there was something going on, there was always a woman involved. Always. Always. So let's start from the beginning. Let's start from Sarah, right? That's the beginning of Am Yisrael, right? What did she say to Abraham? Garesh et ha'ama hazot ve'et bena. Send away this maidservant with her son, Ishmael. To the point, Abraham was shocked. What do you mean? Send away my son and my wife? Abraham, Hashem said to her, Shema bekola, you have to listen. Yes, she's right. You have to send him away with his mother. Rivka. Rivka knew that Yitzhak was going to give those special blessings to Esav, and she knew Esav did not deserve those blessings. What did she do? It was so smart of her that she put the skins of the baby goats onto his neck and onto his hands of Yaakov. And then she prepared the food, and she told Yaakov, go and get the blessings. He was shaking. He was so scared. He said to his mother, I'm going to get the curse, not the blessing. She said, don't, just go. If he curses you, then curse will come on me. But just go. She knew what she was doing. Rachel and Leah. Look how difficult things were. Rachel having to give to Leah her signs so that Leah would not be embarrassed. And Rachel and Leah made sure that the tribes would be born. They even gave their own maids to Yaakov so that the tribes would be born. The 12 tribes would be born. And the 12 tribes turned out to be tzaddikim. And not only tzaddikim, but because of them, we are here today. Batia, the daughter of Paro. Actually, she was an adopted daughter of Paro. But she served Moshe. Where would we be without Moshe? Naomi and Ruth. That Ruth became the great grandmother of David HaMelech. The women were there, and they took part, and they were involved in these important events. In Matan Torah, Hashem said to Moshe, Ko toma lebet Yaakov. First, you have to speak to Bet Yaakov, to the women. That's why every girls' school is called Bet Yaakov. Speak to the women and speak to them softly. Tomar, speak to them softly. first you explain to them about the Torah because their task is very important. Then Shlomo HaMelech comes along and he says like this: Shema beni Musa avicha, my son, listen to the morals of your father. Al titosh Torat imecha, but don't let go of the Torah that your mother is giving to you. A mother passes the importance of Torah, the importance of mitzvot, and values to her children through her emotions. Shlomo HaMelech said, Chochmat Nashim Banta Beta. A woman who is smart, who is wise, she was able to build a home. And she built a home. Ivelet beyadeha teharsena. But a woman who is not wise, with her own hands, she is destroying her home. Who was he referring to? The Chochmat Nashim, the woman who is wife, that was on Ben Pelet. Chachamim tell us. Who is on Ben Pelet? In Parashat Korach, we learn that Korach goes with 250 men against Moshe. Korach says, why should you picked your brother to be the Kohen, you are the leader, why should your brother be the Kohen? We also want to be Kohanim, Kohen Gadol. So they went against Moshe. They accuse him of putting his family in the most important jobs, which is not true. We know that Hashem said that Aaron should be the Kohen Gadol, right? There was a man who had joined Korach. His name was On ben Pelet, On the son of Pelet. His wife said to him, "Just a minute. Can you tell me why you are joining Korach? Korach, he's a Levi. You're not a Levi. Besides, there can be only one Kohen Gadol. So if Korach is successful and he becomes the Kohen Gadol, you're not going to be it. So why are you going there to join his fight? It's not your fight." And what did she do? She fed him some whatever it is or gave him wine. She put him to sleep. And then she stood by the entrance of her tent and she uncovered her hair. So when Korach and all his followers came to pick up On to go with them, as they got closer to the tent, they saw his wife outside without her head covering. They said, "Oh no, we cannot go there. This woman, On's wife, doesn't have a head covering." They turned around and they went without her husband. What happened at the end? Korach and the 250 followers, they all died. The earth opened up and they were sucked in. On's life was saved because of his wife. So who is the Ivelet, the one who is not wise? That was the wife of Korach. Because she is the one who started. When a woman who belittles her husband, when he goes out, okay, at home he cannot show that he's a man, so he has to show himself to be a man outside. So at home she would belittle him. She would tell him, "Look, Moshe is making fun of you, is doing this and this and that and that. What's going on? What kind of things this. You have to go against. You have to go and speak your mind. Moshe took it all for himself and his family. She is the one who pushed Korach to go against Moshe. So what happened to her? She died with her husband and her friends and everybody and her family. Her sons were saved because the last moment the sons made teshuvah. So that's the power of a woman. She can actually save her husband's life. There is a story about also in the Gemara that speaks about a couple. They were both religious, good people. However, after many, many years they'd been married, they didn't have children. So they decided, okay, they were going to get divorced and get married again, and hopefully they'll have children. The wife went, she got married to a man who wasn't religious at all. He was a Rasha. But she made him religious. She made him a good man. The husband, he went to marry a woman who was Rasha'a. She was a bad woman. And she turned him into a Rasha. That's the power of a woman. In Shir Hashirim, we say, there's a pasuk that says, Susati berichve paro dimiti. Hashem is saying, Hashem is saying this, my wife, you are like a mare, a she-horse of Paro's riders. That the army of Paro, they were riding on mares, on she-horses. Hashem is saying this to us because we are sort of, because of the Torah, it's as if we married Hashem. Obviously, it's not physical, right? What does this mean? Can you imagine a husband comes home and tells his wife, you know, you're like a she-horse. Oh, wow. Good luck to him, right? So, what is this? The answer to this is like this. When the riders of Paro, of the army of Paro, went into the sea, they were riding mares, they were riding she-horses. And when they saw that the sea had split, they realized, oh, something is going on here. They wanted to turn around and leave the sea. The mares refused. They kept on going inside the sea, and that's how they drowned. So when Hashem says, you are Susati, you are like a mare of Paro's army, it's actually a praise. It means that you are the leader. You're the one who's leading me. So a wife is leading her husband. So wherever she leads her husband, if she wants him to lead him into Torah, she will. And that's what's going to happen also to her family. Isha keshera, a woman that does what her husband wants. But what is Isha keshera? A woman that does whatever her husband wants? Isn't that what happens in homes? Usually, they talk and he tells her to do something and she does it, right? This is how you get harmony in your house, right? But what does this mean? Chachamim explain. Isha keshera bona retzon ba'ala. It means that she strives and works hard to do chesed, to make a home a happy home, to have Torah learning going on in her home. She builds her husband. She does not belittle her husband. She builds her husbands. Isha keshera. A woman who invests in everything in her home. Great men are made by their great wives. Wives who give up things that maybe once they were important, but they push them to the back burner, onto the back burner. Other matters came up. A woman who knows her priorities. And sometimes a woman needs to choose. And she needs to make sure that her priorities are right. That's no easy matter because a woman needs to push, she has to have first in herself that power. But she also needs to recognize that she has the power, right? So she pushes gently, she praises, she nurtures, she supports, she embellishes to make her home a comfortable home, a happy home. She changes a house into a home, a home that is warm. Once a woman asked of a rabbi if it is true that the role of a woman is so important. How come men, when they say the berachot, they say the beracha shelo asani isha. Thank you, Hashem, that you did not make me a woman. What's the meaning behind it? And the answer is actually very simple. Because then men would have been patur, exempted from limud haTorah, like a woman. Men would have lost everything. If a man would have been patur from limud haTorah, they would not have been able to take care of their spiritual needs. The spiritual needs of a man are different from from spiritual needs of women. Very different. A man with a Torah is like a wild animal, doesn't know what to do with himself, doesn't know which way to go. Right? That's why a man says, Shelo asani isha, because he's able to learn Torah, which helps him. And a woman says, She'asani kirtzono. Thank you, Hashem, for making me according to your will. What does this mean? Before a neshama is brought into the world, Hashem has like a treasure house of neshamot. So when this is neshama is going to be a neshama that's going to go into a girl's body, Hashem says, okay, who wants to volunteer to come down into the world as a woman, as a girl? And then one neshama says, me. It means that every woman neshama volunteered to come down into the world to become a woman, to be a woman. So this one neshama, that's why it says, we say, She'asani kirtzono. You made me as you created, as you wanted, as you will. Shelema, you made me complete. What does this mean? Complete in terms of that Hashem gave us our tools and power to fulfill His will. That's why a woman is born does not need the Brit Milah, and that's why a woman does not need to learn Torah, and that's why a woman does not need tefillin. because she is a partner with Hashem. That's her job. A woman is a partner with Hashem. And a woman, even though a woman is actually very physical, like she likes to have a nice home, nice clothing, beautiful furniture. She likes to make things pretty, look pretty, right? But at the same time, a woman is very spiritual. And in a way, a woman is closer to Hashem than a man. Because a man needs to have Brit Milah to bring him closer to Hashem. A man needs to learn Torah to bring him closer to Hashem. A man needs tefillin to bring him closer to Hashem. A man needs all these mitzvot to bring him closer to Hashem. A woman doesn't. She's naturally closer to Hashem. Chachamim teach us Rosh Chodesh. What is Rosh Chodesh? Rosh Chodesh is the first day of the month. But Rosh Chodesh has a special meaning for women. What's the meaning? When Ben Israel waited for Moshe to come down with the Luchot, with the commandment, and he was late, they thought he was not going to come back. They said that Moshe was gone. The Satan had played all kinds of tricks on them. They said, this is it. We're on our own. We need another medium. We need something else to help us to bring, to be the shaliach, the messenger between us and Hashem. That's why they made the Egel HaZahav. That's why they made the golden calf, right? What did Aaron tell them? Go and bring me your jewelry. Women said, what? We're not giving you jewelry. No way. It's Avodah Zarah. We're not giving you. They did not take part of the Egel HaZahav. They did not take part of the celebration for the golden calf. And we see again in Parashat HaMeraglim, in the parasha of the spies, that when the spies came back and they told terrible things about Eretz Israel, all the men were crying. Women did not participate in the cries. Women said, no, we're going to go to Eretz Israel. Hashem is going to help us. We're going to make it. Men died because they were punished. Women did not die. They went to Eretz Israel. Because of the golden calf, the firstborn males, they were supposed to become Kohanim and serve in the Bet HaMikdash and in the Mishkan. But they had joined the men who were dancing around the golden calf, the Egel HaZahav, and because of that, they lost that privilege. But we, the women, we gained. Why did we gain? Because we remained faithful and loyal to Hashem. So what did we gain? Rosh Chodesh is like a Chag. It's like a Yom Tov. That's why usually women don't do laundry. They don't do sewing on Rosh Chodesh. But they try to make something special. Either have a special dessert or a special meal. In the times of Bet HaMikdash, it was actually, they used to have a big seudah, just like you do on Chag, on Rosh Chodesh. So now we know the role of women and our power. We have children, we have husbands, we have grandchildren. So it's up to us to gently push them and make sure that they go to the right path. Because a man on his own cannot make it. He needs his partner to help him, to guide him gently. Susati. Susati my mare, my she horse, because you are leading, because this is what women, Hashem gave us that power. So may we do the right thing and not disappoint Hashem in this matter.